It's 2025, and you're watching this on a screen, probably in your hand or maybe on a glowing monitor. You might even be connected to Wi-Fi right now, streaming, scrolling, clicking without a second thought. But while you do that, over 42 million Americans can't even get online. That number might seem impossible, but it's real. In a country that gave the world Silicon Valley, in a nation where billionaires are building internet satellites for space, millions of people here on Earth, here in America, are still waiting for a connection. Not metaphorically, literally. It's called the digital divide. But that phrase doesn't come close to describing what it really is. This isn't just about slow internet. This is about being locked out of modern life, of jobs, school, healthcare, government, opportunity. And it's tearing rural America apart. In parts of Mississippi, a school principal still drives to the homes of his students once a week, handing out paper worksheets because his district doesn't have stable broadband. In Oklahoma, a farmer walks half a mile every morning to the top of a hill, just to upload weather data and check prices on his crops. In Northern California, tribal elders can't book telehealth appointments because there's no signal on their reservation. In West Virginia, a single mom sits with her kids outside a closed McDonald's every night just to catch free Wi-Fi for their homework. This isn't fiction. It's happening right now, in 2025, in the most technologically advanced country on Earth. It wasn't supposed to be like this. In 2021, the US government passed the Infrastructure Investment and Jobs Act, allocating over $65 billion to expand broadband access. It was hailed as the biggest investment in digital equity in history. Politicians promised high-speed internet for every American. They said it would be fast, affordable, universal. But 4 years later, the results are patchy at best. Delays, lawsuits, technical setbacks, corruption. And the people who needed it most, rural families, low-income neighborhoods, indigenous communities, they're still offline. Because while cities got fiber upgrades and 5G towers, small towns got excuses. Providers said it wasn't profitable to build out there. Too expensive, too remote. The returns aren't big enough. So they waited, and waited. And while they waited, everything moved online without them. In 2025, most government services now require digital access. You want to apply for food assistance? It's online. File for unemployment? Online. Make a doctor's appointment, pay your water bill, schedule your child's school bus route, check your banking balance, register to vote. It's all online. But what if you can't get online? You fall behind. You miss deadlines. You lose opportunities. You get left out of the future. That's not an exaggeration. That's daily life for millions of Americans. In North Dakota, a young woman named Jamie had to drop out of college because her family's ranch had no broadband. Her entire semester was virtual. The school offered no alternative. Her grades tanked. Her scholarship vanished. And her dreams of becoming a nurse disappeared with it. In Alabama, a man in his 60s spent 3 days trying to apply for Medicare Advantage through a government website that kept crashing on his phone. He eventually gave up and went without coverage for 3 months. In that time, he had a stroke. In Texas, an entire school district had to delay reopening after a cyber attack because their digital infrastructure was so outdated and vulnerable. Students sat at home for 2 weeks, unable to even download assignments. Teachers were told to wait it out. And then there's the economy. In 2025, over 85% of all job applications in the United States are submitted online. That includes jobs like janitorial work, food service, delivery driving. Jobs you might think require little more than a resume and a handshake. Not anymore. Even Walmart jobs are digital now. But if you live in one of the 14,000 towns and communities still without reliable internet, you're already disqualified before you can apply. You're not just competing with other workers, you're competing against a system that forgot you exist. The economic fallout is massive. Rural regions with poor internet access have 20% lower business formation rates than their connected counterparts. Local businesses can't process credit cards. Farmers can't access real-time market data. Entire counties lose out on e-commerce, job opportunities, remote work. In short, if you don't have internet, you're not just offline, you're invisible. And that invisibility has deadly consequences. In Appalachia, one woman died of a heart attack in 2024 because her rural clinic had switched to a telemedicine system for triage. But her town didn't have broadband. By the time she was seen in person, it was too late. In Alaska, suicide prevention lines couldn't be reached during peak crisis hours because satellite internet froze up in a storm. 2 young people took their lives that month. This isn't just about buffering YouTube or bad Zoom calls. This is life or death, access or abandonment. It's not just rural towns either. In inner cities like Detroit, Baltimore, and New Orleans, thousands of residents live in what experts now call digital red lines, areas intentionally left out of broadband development due to past racist housing policies. The result? Millions of Black and brown Americans living in urban internet deserts while towers go up in wealthy suburbs. And it's not like these communities aren't trying. Some are building their own internet networks. Municipal broadband programs have exploded since 2022, but many face legal threats from big telecoms who lobby against local competition. In 17 states, there are actual laws on the books preventing cities from offering public broadband. Let that sink in. It's illegal for some towns to fix their own internet. Meanwhile, the big ISPs, the ones who promise to expand, have raked in billions in federal subsidies and still failed to deliver. They pocket the money, delay the rollouts, blame regulators, and then quietly raise prices on the plans they do offer. Today, the average American household pays $79/month for broadband. In rural areas, it's often over $100 for slower speeds and worse service. In native reservations, some families pay by the gigabyte. One teen in Arizona said he had to choose between joining class or watching his baby sister while their mom worked. They couldn't afford enough data for both. This is not a glitch. This is not bad luck. This is the system working exactly as it was designed, to benefit the connected and leave everyone else in the dark. And now the gap is growing wider. Artificial intelligence, remote work, virtual education, online banking, cloud healthcare. Every innovation pushes the disconnected further out. They're not just missing the future, they're being erased from it. But there's hope. Some communities are fighting back. In Tennessee, a group of retired veterans built a low-cost broadband mesh network for their entire county on their own. In Michigan, a local librarian turned a broken-down bookmobile into a mobile Wi-Fi hub for families. In rural Kansas, high schoolers started a nonprofit to help elders apply for online benefits. These are the stories that don't go viral. These are the heroes we don't interview. But they're doing more than billion-dollar companies and government contracts combined. Still, it shouldn't be their burden. The promise of connection shouldn't be a luxury. It should be a right. Because in 2025, internet is not a nice to have. It's a lifeline, a job, a classroom, a doctor, a voice, a vote. And until every American is connected, truly connected, we cannot call this country free or fair or future ready. The divide is real, the clock is ticking, and the disconnection is deadly. You're watching this now. Someone else can't. Because the signal never reached them.